Hello my Bandicoot and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be another tier list video and the topic is cut Crash Bandicoot characters. Just for clarification, we're not going to be doing different character designs like how Crash on the Run's Dingodile looked like a vulture originally. Stuff like that is not going to be covered. I'm only going to be covering characters that never actually made it into the series. So whether it be a character that was cut during production or a game that was canceled entirely, I'm going to have characters from that being in the tier list. And there's going to be characters that I have missed. I know for a fact that all of the Wumpa League characters are not going to be in this because if I included that giant roster of characters, it would take up the entire tier list itself. So I might do a tier list on those characters at some other point in time. But that's pretty much it. I'm going to do cut characters, and you might think something counts that I didn't pick. Like, for example, we've got these two masks that are floating here. I don't really count those as characters because we don't know if they were going to be, characters. They could have just been power-ups or something. So stuff like that, like NPC enemies and stuff like that, I didn't include. So you might have something in your mind like, oh, I remember a character you missed. But if I didn't include it, it's probably for a reason. So with all that said, let's just jump into it. As always, I will post a link in the description if you would like to do this tier list yourself. And like I said, if it's not in this tier list, chances are I do know of it. I just didn't really think it counted as a character. But if you really have a character in your mind that you think I missed, go ahead and tell me in the comments section. So I have the very first one here as Kapu Kapu or Kapu Kapu. So it's like a play on the word captain and Papu Papu. He was a character that was supposed to be in Crash Bandicoot Twinsanty that would bring you from one location to the other. His dialogue is in the game, so he technically isn't entirely cut, but you never get to see his actual appearance in the game. I would count Kapu Kapu as at least a mid-tier, so I would give him a B. He just looks like Papu Papu with a different headdress on. And then I gave these characters names because they didn't technically have names. They were designed by Charles Zembius or Zembilis. I never know how to say that. I always say Zembilis or Zembius. But yeah, so Charles drew these characters up for Crash Bandicoot 1, and they never made it into the game. So this one I call Sumo Pig, and he is pretty gross looking. Not really a fan of him, so I'm going to put him in D tier. Oh yeah, obviously, this is all just based off how I think they look, because most, if not all of these, don't have any like character that we know of. Like we've never heard them speak. There's a few on here that we've seen in motion and have dialogue, but for most of them, it's just visually, how do I think they look? Then we have the Rap Monkey. Rap Monkey, I think, is pretty neat looking, so I would give him a B tier. It's I wonder how these guys would have been interacted with. Like Sumo Pig, like obviously there would have been a sumo fight, but like the Rap Monkey with the gauged ears and stuff and the backwards hat, I don't know how you would have fought him. Like maybe he would have thrown compact discs at you or something, because this game came out in 1996 and they were working on it in 1995. So perhaps that's back when CDs were all the rave. Then we have, I'm pretty sure that this is a dingo. Not 100% positive, but he gives me Ripperoo vibes, so he's going to be my first A in this list. I like him a lot. I think he's silly looking. Again, I'm pretty sure he's a dingo. He might not be, but either way, he's getting an A from me. Then we got this low quality sketch of a running lizard who I called Dash Lizard. And he's very C tier. He's not as bad as the Warthog, but there's not really much going for him. He's barely anthropomorphic. Like, he might as well just be like a normal lizard standing up on his hind legs. They gave him a little tracksuit, it looks like. Next, we have the Tor alligator. He's got a pair of sunglasses, a Hawaiian t-shirt. I think he's also going to be an A tier. I think he's quite silly looking. I enjoy him. He might have had like a camera to flash to take attack, like maybe when he would take his camera out and take a picture at Crash, and the flash would like stun Crash, and then he would like whack you with his tail or something. Then we move on to the last Crash Bandicoot 1 cut character, and that is an iguana, who I really wish made it into the game proper, because in the opening cutscene it actually says iguana on the cage, on one of the many cages that's seen, and it would have just been nice to have him included in there. The lizards in Sunset Vista, pretty much, just like I said about Dash Lizard, they look almost identical to him. They just don't have any clothes on because they also stand on their hind legs. So it's kind of hypocritical to me for me to give Dash Lizard a C, but then I'm going to give the iguana an A, or a B rather. So I think I'd put him above Rap Monkey. Okay, and then this next one. This is a cut character from Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex. Before it was The Wrath of Cortex, it was called Crash Bandicoot Worlds. And the final boss of the game was a lady called Elemental. So she was like, she was very tall, she had red hair, like fire, and she had like a dress that looked like it was ice. So she had elemental power. So before the elemental masks, there was Elemental. And I think that she is interesting, but at the same time, I don't really like her design. She doesn't have the same like gross look that all the other doctors and stuff have, so they kind of strayed away from the characters a little bit too much, I think. And then we move on to the cut characters from Crash Bash. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. The first one is Splash Platypus, and he's hands down my favorite. He is the first S we're getting. Splash Platypus just looks like a surfer dude, and he's got like the necklace on. He's on a surfboard in the full-size version of this picture. I just think he's really neat looking, and we don't have a platypus character, so it would have been really nice to have Splash show up in a game. Then we've got Kangaskoo. I made a video on her a while back. Again, it would be nice to have more female characters in the series, so her with her little bandana and her green shirt there, I think she was cool too, so she's going to get another A. I'm going to put her above the Tor alligator. And then we move on to Redback Jack. It's not often that we get anthropomorphic bugs. There was quite a bit in Crash Twinsanty. They weren't like characters, they were more just like enemies. But Redback Jack, I'm pretty sure he's a beetle. He might be a spider. He's just looks like a desperado bug. He's gonna get a he gets a C tier from me. And then we've got Hypnopotamus. It's a hypnotist hippo. He's got a top hat and a watch that he swings back and forth to hypnotize you. So he would have been pretty cool to play as, I think. So he's going to be getting A tier from me. We're going to put him above Tor Alligator also. Then we move on to Combat Wombat. Combat Wombat looks like something out of Winnie the Pooh to me. I don't like him at all, and he's going to go down there with the sumo warthog, sumo pig, sumo boar, whatever you want to call him. I will put him above the sumo, but I don't really like his design all that much. Then we move on to Twinsanty characters, or evolution characters as it was called before the game came out. And this guy's name is the Goat King. I'm pretty sure that's what his name was. He was in the floating city level. With it being different dimensions, I'm not sure if he would have been an anthropomorphic mutant or if there were just like animals in that world. Chances are it was just animals in the world because they had a lot of them in this game. So I'm going to give him a B tier. I like him. And then we move on to Miner Turtle. He's a turtle who mines. He's got lights on his shoulders there. He's got a very, like, interesting design, I guess you could say. Sorry if I'm not using like the most exciting words to describe all these guys. But the mining turtle, he's probably C tier. He's not like down in the D, but I wouldn't give him anything higher than this. And like I said, I'm going to try and keep it chronological, so we're going to keep on going with Twinsanty characters. Evil Coco, she's in one of the unlockables, but you never get to actually see her in the game. I'm not sure if the cutscene was unlockable or just a picture of her was unlockable. I do know that I've seen the cutscene on YouTube at least. Whether it's actually on the on the CD or not, I don't remember, because it's been many, many years since I played Crash Twinsanty. But Evil Coco, she's going to go up in A tier also. So that's my second A tier. I like Evil Coco. And then we've got Good Cortex. Good Cortex, to me, wasn't as big of a change like how Evil Coco looks to Good Coco. It's like a big difference, you can tell. But for Good Cortex, literally all they did was flip the N around, like mirror it, and give him little glasses. And I guess in his first introduction, Cortex zaps him with a laser gun and destroys him. So I'm putting him in D, not because I don't like his design, because I do like Cortex design, but I'm putting him in D because he's not different enough from Cortex at all. Like, Evil Crash looks way different from Crash, Evil Coco looks way different from Coco, but Good Cortex just looks way too similar to regular Cortex. I wish they'd changed him up a little bit more. And then we've got two more Twinsanty characters. We've got Foofy, who is like a multi-tool. You can use him to... Here, let's move him up here so you can see him better. He was like a multi-tool. You can use him as a grappling hook. You could use him as a weapon. He has a whole bunch of different designs, but I picked my favorite one, so we could put him up here in A tier. I liked Foofy a lot. I wish Foofy was in the game. There's actually... They have a YouTube channel that they're showing cut content from Crash Bandicoot Evolution, and they do have a little, probably like 3-second clip of Foofy being used as a grappling hook. I will put a link in the description so you can see that for yourself. So yeah, Foofy gets an A. And then the last one we have is quote-unquote Teddy Weddy. Teddy Weddy would have been in the Gonna Bit Coco level, and he just looks like a generic bear. Like, there's not much to him at all. There's another one of his species that has a lollipop, but I think this one is actually like a character because it's on the title card for the level. I could be wrong, he might just be a generic enemy, but I think because the elephant made it into Crash on the Run, which in the YouTube channel that I was talking about earlier, they actually released his name, so he's no longer Pink Elephant. I guess he was originally supposed to be called Elephant Terrific. That's a mouthful of a name, right? But yeah, so again, just like Cortex is in D tier, I'm giving Teddy Weddy D tier because there's not much to him. I will put him above Good Cortex, but he's still pretty bad. Okay, and then we move on to, let's see, what would have come out again around that time. Okay, so Cortex Chaos is the next game, and there's a bunch of evil doctors that never made it into the game. So the first one was drawn by Keith Webb, and that is Dr. Entertain. He's going up in S tier also. I like him a lot. He has a top hat. His body is like a slot machine. He's got a really cool bow tie, and he just looks like a lot of fun. He also has the rolling ball, the bomb balls that Ripperoo has in Crash Team Racing. I think he deserves A tier. And then we move on to Dr. Entangle. And Dr. Entangle, he's going down in D tier. I don't like him at all. Yeah, I'll put him... Nah, that's a good place for him right there. Dr. Entangle is just like a big fat guy that has plants sticking out of his head and his arms. Not really a fan of his design. Then we move on to Dr. Entombed, and he's a big, muscly guy that has a Egypt theme to him. He's got the pharaoh headdress on, and he's got like mummy bandages around his arms and stuff. I think he's really cool. I don't want to give him S tier, but I do think he deserves an A tier, so I'm going to put him there. Then we go to the last one, Dr. Enigma. I don't like Dr. Enigma, just like Dr. Entangle. He's going to go there. And then we move on to the cut game Crash Landed. The Crash reboot game that was coming out. Again, this might not count as a character. I know I'm kind of going against what I said originally at the start of the video, but I think the Bandicoots are so cute. They're so adorable, and I really wish they were in the game. They might even go up here. Past Splash Platypus. Yeah, the Bandicoots, they seem to be a collectible, but you could interact with them, so I'm not sure how much character they would have. I know that there's a lot of them, so the chances of them having distinct characteristics are slim, but Bandicoot's too cute for me to pass up, so I did put them in S tier. Then we move on to Land Shark, and man, this shark is so cool looking. He's got like scars on his face where it looks like he got into some fights. He's got the dead eyes. He's got a beard made of seaweed, and he's on land. So he's getting an A tier for me. Like, I like Land Shark a lot. Land Shark, he'll go above Kangaskoo. Yeah, I'll put him at the top. He goes at the tippy top. Yeah, that works. Okay, and then the next one we have is Crush Bandicoot. This picture is by Mel the Honeybee. I'm pretty sure that's the artist's name. From the thumbnail from Canadian Guy A's Crush Bandicoot video. I am basing my like for this character purely on that drawing of Crush Bandicoot. And it's going up in A tier. I made a video on my channel about Crush Bandicoot and said that his color isn't green, but Canadian Guy A went into Photoshop and actually figured out that Crush would have been purple. And Crush being purple is really cool to me. Purple's my favorite color, so Crush would easily be an S tier for me. I like his wild look, and I like the purple. And then we move on to the last game in the series that had some cut content. It is not it's not the only one. Like I said, I'm not doing Wumpa League characters, but we have Hugh G. Cortex, who is Cortex's older brother. He looks like a Cortex, but more buff with more hair. I will give him a C tier. I'm not going to put him all the way down in D because he does have a little bit of a distinguishing look, so you could tell him apart from Cortex. Not too much. He just looks like a handsome Cortex. Then the next one we have is Mama Cortex, who I'm assuming was going to be Grandma Cortex, not Mother Cortex, because we actually have a portrait of Cortex's mother, Sharon, in Crash Bandicoot 4. So I think Mama Cortex is actually Grandma Cortex, and I like her design a lot. She got her M on her head right there, so I will give her a B. And then we have ID Cortex, or ID Cortex. I'm not too sure what his name is or her name. I don't even know what gender this character is. They look like a sibling of Nina with long hair. It's going to go into low C tier for me. You know what? I'm going to put that one there. Okay, and then the last character we have is Cortex's sister, I'm assuming, and her name was Sarabella Cortex, and she was supposedly going to be a dentist character. I like her design. I think I'm going to put her in probably B along with Mama Cortex, but I'll put it there. So that is my tier list for the cut Crash Bandicoot characters. For S tier, we've got Evil Coco, Bandicoot, Crush Bandicoot, Splash Platypus, and Dr. Entertain. And then for A tier, which has the most, we have Land Shark, Kangaskoo, Ripper Dingo, Foofy, Dr. Entombed, Hypnopotamus, the Tor Alligator, and then B tier we have Kapu Kapu, Jacket Iguana, Rap Monkey, King Goat, Sarabella, and Mama Cortex. And then C tier, we have Dash Lizard, Elemental, Minor Turtle, UG Cortex, Id Cortex, and Redback Jack. And then way down on the bottom in D tier, we have the Combat Wombat, Sumo Warthog, Dr. Entangle, Dr. Enigma, Weddy Teddy, or Teddy Weddy rather, and Good Cortex. So, my Bandit Crew, that is my tier list. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my opinions. And if I did miss an actual cut character that you know of that wasn't just like a one-off villain, or I mean like a crab or like a skunk or something, just let me know in the comments section. But anyway, you take care. I hope you enjoyed the video and you have a great night. Bye-bye.
Future Tom here. Remembered after finishing editing this video that this is not a dingo, it is a hyena. Hyenas laugh, that's why he looks crazy and he's laughing. This is a hyena, not a dingo. So hopefully the people that correct me in the comment sections actually watched all the way to the end of the video to see that I did indeed know that it was not a dingo, it was a hyena. Okay guys, take care. Have a great night.